Hi, thanks for tuning in. It's Andy with you here with a review of the private members bets for the Scottish football season 2020-2021. This is the first video I've done on this, but I'm going to be doing videos at least weekly, and I will be updating Twitter daily. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'm going to do that. I've just literally not had the time because running the private service, I've been writing articles most days for certain people, and obviously being involved in the betting game sort of pretty much full time, it is a sort of very hard to get on Twitter and do things. So let's crack on with a review of the season. Let's start with August. August was the first month. Now, I mean, it was absolutely outstanding month for us. We had 9 bets, 7 winners, 78% strike rate, and a profit of 12.37 points. That's the best month I've had since December 2019, where we had that fantastic 10 in a row when we had 17 to 2 winners and alike. So it was a fantastic month for us. August, 3 2-point win bets, all won, I'm pleased to say. Aberdeen was a team I latched onto early. 3 times I backed Aberdeen, 3 times they went in for us. Hibernian let us down, and as you'll see as we go through, I really did struggle to call Hibs right this season. I don't know why they finished third, but there was either no value in the prices, or when there was value in the prices, they didn't win. Simple as that. But yeah, really good month. And considering we only went at the Premiership that month, I was the only Scottish football available at the time. But yeah, I mean, 9 bets, 7 winners, 78% and a profit of 12.3 is massively high. But you certainly wouldn't hear me complaining about that. Right, on to September. 10 bets for us in September, 6 winners, 60% strike rate, profit of 3.42. That's sort of more in keeping strike rate profit wise. Profit I like to sort of see at around sort of 4 or above. But if I make 3.5 one month, 4.5 the next month, that's where we want to be. But again, we only played in the Premiership. Aberdeen 2-point win bet for us there. I know that was odds on, but I think I put that in at 4 to 6. I think so. There wasn't a great deal of value in it, and that's something which you do find when you play with Premier League. Even the English Premier League is probably the worst league in Europe for value, and the Scottish Premier League, again, is without doubt the worst league in Scotland for value. I mean, things like this, Dundee United to beat St Mirren 11 to 10. I know I put that in at even, so you're only getting a tenth of a point extra, which really isn't. It's neither here nor there. Whereas you look at this, Motherwell to beat St Johnstone. That's probably something I think I probably had it around 5 to 4. So there's a bit of juice in that. But 11 to 10, when you're getting 11 to 10 about even shots, you've got to have an awful lot of winners to make a profit, and that is something which by backing Premiership football, it's very hard to do. But a good month. Right, on to October. Poor month for us there. The bets were thin on the ground. I think we had an international break in October. Only 9 bets, 4 winners, strike rate way below what it should be, and the profit way below what it should be. But it was a profit nevertheless. But a tough month, October. Again, I remember this, Dundee United to beat Ross. Again, I think I had that in at even money. These 10 to 11 shots, I think the St Johnstone bet was around 4 to 5. So we're not getting anything like what we should do in terms of value. I did put up Aberdeen to beat Celtic at 5 to 1. I never really did expect that to come off, but I think I put Aberdeen in about 3. So if you're getting 5 to 1, about a 3 to 1, but over the course of a season, you will make money by doing that. But I mean that is a rarity. But yeah, poor month October, 9 bets, 4 winners. Moving on to November. November was even a poorer month in terms of bets. I think we had an international break there as well. We only had 3 winners in November. They were all the 2-point win bets, and it was the first time we played in the Championship. Queen of the South, a team which I really do struggle to get right. Ayr as well. I mean, got those wrong both times. But again, the 2-point win bets, were what kept us going. But again, Wraith to beat Morton, I know that should have been even money. That should have been about 4 to 6. So you're not even getting a tenth of a point on that. Backing that at 0.75, and it should be 0.66. That's really it's value, but it's poor value. It really is at the sort of lower end of the scale. And you don't want too many of those, because it is really hard to make money when you're doing that. If if you're backing stuff sort of like at 0.75, that really should be, I'd be pricing it up at 2s on, so we're getting sort of 25, 0.25 extra. But a profit in November, but a poor month. Now December was even worse for us. 17 bets is probably where I want to be in terms of the number of bets. 8 winners, 47%. We made a loss of 0.79. Now that was the first loss since February 2019. So we were always going to get losing months, and it wasn't a over the top losing month. And I did feel there was some decent value in December. I can remember pricing this game up, Alloa Air. I think I put Alloa in round about 7 to 4. So that we got plenty of value there. These here were extremely good value bets. Hamilton to beat Ross. I think I started that off like I do everything with, when you've got home win, draw and away win, you price it all at 2 to 1 or 33.33%, and you add and deduct points for this and that. And I think when I'd done the figures on that, I think I came out with it all should have been 2 to 1. So we were getting 3 to 1 about a 2 to 1 shot, which was absolutely fantastic value. And those are real good bets, because you're making a whole point value, and that's really good. So, but yeah, I mean, December we struggled. Inverness, another really funny side in Inverness, as is Alloa. Again, I called Alloa wrong twice out of 3 bets, and as I say, they're one of those teams, Alloa, that they can beat. Sorry, 3 times I got Alloa wrong, because I got them wrong there as well. They're a team, Alloa, that can beat anybody on their day, and then they can go and lose a silly home game to somebody really strange. And when I put this bet up, obviously I expected Wraith to beat them, but had Alloa won, I wouldn't have been surprised. As I say, really tough month. 12th of December, look, 4 bets, 4 losers. Again, all of these were value, but yeah, really tough month, December, and it's usually a really good month for us, December. So disappointed with that. On to January, made a profit in January. Only 2 2-point win bets. Yeah, I mean this, the Kilmarnock Hamilton, I know I put that in at 2s on, so we were getting just over a tenth of a point, nothing major. And as I say, if you're just going to make a tenth of a point on a bet, then you really, the strike rate has got to be off the scale to make money like that. And the strike rate was above average for January. There's a couple of decent bets in January. St Johnstone, yeah, I think I put that in at evens as well. So we made 0.3 on that value wise, which was really good. And I think Aberdeen, I did put in odds on against Motherwell. I called Queen of the South right at home to Morton, which is a real rarity for me, because both of those sides I struggled to get a handle on. Kilmarnock, got a handle on them pretty well this season, and called them right 3 times in January. So January was a good month. Bets were probably a little bit down in terms of numbers. Strike rate was above. Profit was just a bit down, but if you're running a service like that, if you'd had sort of like another 4 or 5 bets that month, that profit would have probably been towards a sort of 4.5, 5 points, which is where I like to be. Excuse me. Going on to February, really good month for us, February. Now that excuse me, 14 bets, 8 winners. Now that is a really sort of typical month, and if I can run every single month with around sort of 14, 16 bets, 8 winners, the strike rate up around sort of mid 50s, I'm very happy. The profit was more than what I expected, but I thought we got some fantastic value in February. Hamilton Motherwell, again, I never really overly fancy Hamilton against anybody, but when I priced this game up, I had them in at 3 to 1, and 9 to 2 for a 3 to 1 shot. You just have to back it regardless. You've got to take your own thoughts away. I put them in at 3 to 1, so to be getting 9 to 2 about a 3 to 1 shot is extremely good value. And if we can do things like that all the time, then happy days. Dundee United to beat Ross 2 to 1. I think I put that in about 6 to 4. So very happy there, half a point. And St Johnstone Motherwell, I can't remember what I priced up at, but I would imagine they were probably around a sort of evenish money, because looking at the points profit and the strike rate, that they would have that they certainly would have been up around sort of evens, and obviously to get that sort of price, fantastic. Right, on to March. March was the last month of the service. We didn't have any 2-point win bets in March. I think from memory, I think Valley was thin on the ground that month. I think Motherwell to beat Livingston. I think the wheels had started to come off at Livingston round about this point. Again, look at that, Hibernian to beat Livingston. Hibs were just such a team I can't call. I did manage to call Morton right 3 times that month. Both times away. Sorry, they played Wraith and Ayr, and to beat Queen of the South, called that right. So really, really happy, and maybe I did get a bit of a handle on Morton in the end. But Morton, Queen of the South, Hibernian, Inverness, they really are tough teams for me. Even though Hibs finished third, as I said before, I just really didn't understand why we couldn't make a profit. So we made a profit overall. Let's go on to the overall picture for the season. August was a fantastic month, as you can see, and that is a rarity. I will be totally honest. That is, you don't get many months like that, and if you do, then you really make the most of them. Looking here, I would say an average month would be sort of around a sort of 16 bets. Strike rate, if we can keep it mid-50s, I'm very, very happy with that. Profit average, probably about 4 points a month. Now, we played 8 months. We made 30 points, 30.65 points. So we nearly hit what I sort of project at around sort of 4 points a month profit. But obviously we were only playing 2 leagues. We never got involved in League One, and we never got involved in League Two. Although I did say to members, I gave them Partick Thistle 11 times, and Partick won 8 of those times for us. So it was only the fact that there was no value in Partick that's why they never went on the account. But I know that when I sent the selections to members 11 times, I said, do Partick, make sure you back Partick, and 8 times they won. And I mean, I'd done them, I do everything to singles, but I did do Partick with all the members' account bets as well when I put them out in doubles. So, that 30 points, you could say, oh, members probably made around 40, 50 points. I don't know, but, Partick done well. So we laid out a total of 101 points, profit on investment, just over 30%, which is good. I think, anything for sort of 25 to 30 is good over the course of the season. And it shows we're doing something right. It was just the volume of bets that were down, and, the strike rate. If you look at the season, I meant to say that earlier, actually, 56% is where I'd roughly expect it to be. If we can hit mid-50s, then we're doing really well. Now, this was something I just want to draw your attention to. This is something which I didn't really notice as we were going along, and I should have done. And again, it's like anything, isn't it? It's having the time. 13 2-point win bets, 10 wins, 77%. That is absolutely out of this world, and it's something which, please don't expect that every year, because that is extremely high. I think that with 2-point win bets, if you can sort of hit around 60%, then you're doing well. If I gave out 10 2-point win bets over a 3-month period or whatever, and 6 of them won, I would say I'm doing really well. Maximums, if I'd expect 2 out of the 3 maximums to win. We didn't have any maximums because, as I always say, the majority of the maximums do come in Leagues 1 and Leagues 2. But when I went back through the games and went through the prices and that, I did notice there was probably 3 or 4 of those 2-point win bets could have been maximum bets. So, we could have ended up with something like 4 maximums, 3 winners, which would have been absolutely fantastic. So that's something to look forward to next season. The 1-point win bet, 75 of them, 39 winners, 52. Again, that's probably around sort of average. Profit was really good for the 1-point win bets. That is really high, 15, 16 points. So very happy with that. And this is something that's even more odd as far as I'm concerned. 61 bets in the Premier League. That is unheard of for me. I would imagine that if I have 4 bets a month in the Premier League, that is a lot for me. So to have 61, my hand was sort of forced, I guess, where we started off with only the Premier League, and we kept on with it all the way through the season. But as I say, I find the Premier League so hard to find value. But if someone said to me now, oh, next season you'll have 61 bets, 35 winners at 57% and 28, I would absolutely snap their hand off. And I think that where I couldn't play Leagues One and League Two for great periods, it forced me to dig deeper into the Premier League. And I know that I did spend a heck of a lot of time looking at bets in the Premier League. So that is something which I'm going to do again next season. I'm definitely going to give up, I think, an afternoon a week extra and spend on the Premiership. When I look at the Premiership, it's probably around sort of 2 or 3 hours, which is I spend probably about 3 hours on each league. So I would spend probably about 12 hours a week compiling the weekend bets. But I'm definitely going to spend an extra 2 or 3 hours a week next season looking at the Premiership, because if we can have another Premiership season like that, that is just adding to the service. It's adding to the points. Yes, we're going to have more bets, but you know, my sort of saying with that, if the more bets you have, the more winners you're getting, then you know it's folly not to do it. Championship was disappointing for us. 27 bets, 14 winners. That's probably strike rate's probably okayish. Profit only 2.4 points. So that tells me that there wasn't a great deal of value around in the Championship, because from when I go back through previous years of my bets, it's always the reverse. Most profit comes from League Two, then League One, then the Championship, then the Premiership. But you know, this season it's been completely back to front, and I'm pleased. Obviously, I'm pleased, but that was down on the Championship. But the Premiership was excessively high, and as I say, the 2-point win bets. You know, please don't expect that to be the case next season, because I will be absolutely amazed if it is. You know, so yeah, all in all, a decent season. Now, there's just one other thing I want to touch on before I go, and it is Livingston. Now, that is that's Livingston's last 12 games, and I'm hoping that Odds Compiler is going to look at the league table, see Livingston finish sixth, and think, well, yeah, Livingston finished sixth, they were safe, they won't go down next season. But this was the last 12 games. Now, for a couple of I think 2 or 3 years ago, when Brechin City had that terrible run in League One and were relegated, in the Championship and relegated down to League One, I said at the time, I think I wrote this either in the column or I said to other people, that I fear for Brechin City. And what's happened to Brechin? They've gone from the Championship to League One to League Two, and then now out the league. And whenever you see a team that has a really bad end to the season, it can spill over into the next season. And that's my concern with Livingston. 6 points from the last 12 games, 8 goals scored, 25 conceded. The only win was against a bottom club, Hamilton. They lost 8 of the last 12. Yes, I know they played Rangers twice and Celtic, but it's a really, really worrying trajectory from Livingston. Now, I've priced them up at about 7-2 to go down. I think 7-2 is value, because I've got them in there with, I think, Dundee and I can't remember who else I've got them in there with that are going to struggle. It's not Hearts, because the figure that I've got on Hearts at the moment probably places Hearts at around 5th, 6th in the Premier League. So I don't expect Hearts to struggle next season. But I do expect Livingston to be down there. It's not St Mirren. I can't remember the other team. I will check that out. But there's 3 teams that I've sort of penciled in for relegation next season, and it's Dundee. Dundee are definitely one of them. Livingston are in that mix as well. And I think that if we can get sort of 7-2 about Livingston, that's a value bet. Now, I'm hoping we might be able to get 5-1, 6-1, because if we can, that's an absolute outstanding bet, because that, as I say, is a worrying trend for them. And, you know, David Martindale's a good manager, and, you know, we don't know, Livingston might sign 2 or 3 players in the summer and be a completely different outfit. But I do not like to see teams having a bad end to the season, because it does tend to carry forward. So Livingston, if you can get 7-2 above Livingston to be relegated, I would take that. But I think that the bookmakers might just look at that league table and saw that they were 6th, nice from safety, and may overprice them. You know, if we get 5 or 6-1, then, you know, that is absolutely outstanding value. So that's just something I wanted to touch on. Now, I will be back on Sunday, and on Sunday I'm going to do a full preview of the Euros. Okay, now, Anybody who knows me, I'm not a great international football fan, but there are certain things in international football, profiles, and I will explain all that on Sunday. I think there is some absolutely outstanding value at the Euros, and I think we can really take advantage. And I will update Twitter. I will update Twitter regular, and as I say, there will be a video on Sunday with a preview of Euro 2020 or 21 as it is now, and I will give you my best bets for that tournament. And I will also be updating daily on YouTube with bets for the matches. So if there's any matches where there's a bit of value, tune in and have a listen. But that's it. That's a full review of last season's members bets. And as I say, keep an eye on the price for Livingston to be relegated. 7-2 or more, back them. I will be back Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.